Forget the personalities, forget the party drama. The Osun 2026 election comes down to one question that affects every voter. Do you spend now to help people today, or do you invest now to help people tomorrow? This is the debate nobody is framing clearly. Let's break it down. Both candidates agree that Osun has serious challenges: youth unemployment, struggling healthcare, uneven infrastructure. Where they disagree is how to fix it. And that disagreement isn't just about Osun, it's one of the oldest debates in governance anywhere in the world. The first philosophy says the priority is immediate relief. Pay workers on time, clear pension arrears, fund public infrastructure directly, put money into the hands of everyday citizens, and let that spending stimulate the local economy from the bottom up. This is broadly the approach the current Osun administration has pursued. To understand why this matters, look at where Osun's money actually comes from. In the 2025 budget, about 59% of the state's projected revenue came from the federal allocation, money shared from the national pool. Only about 26% was expected from internally generated revenue. The rest came from capital receipts and opening balances. In other words, more than half of Osun's budget depends on money from Abuja, not money generated within the state itself. When FAAC allocations are strong, the state can fund its programs. When they dip, the state is exposed. And here is the number that sits at the heart of this debate. In 2025, Osun collected 103% of its expected federal allocation. It actually exceeded its target. But internally generated revenue hit only 61% of its target. The state over-delivered on collecting federal money, but significantly underperformed on generating its own. Both sides can point to the same number and draw completely different conclusions. Supporters of the current approach say the FAAC system is working. Why disrupt it when federal allocations are coming in above target? Supporters of reform say 61% IGR performance proves the state needs a fundamentally different revenue strategy. Same data, two interpretations. Now look at how the money gets spent. 55% of the budget goes to recurrent expenditure. That is salaries, pensions, debt servicing, and the daily cost of running government. 45% goes to capital expenditure, infrastructure, projects and development. Personnel costs alone account for 24% of the entire budget. The argument for the welfare approach is straightforward. People are struggling today. Civil servants need their salaries, retirees need their pensions, roads need fixing, schools and hospitals need funding. If the government does not provide these things directly, nobody else will. Private investors are not going to pay civil servant salaries. The argument for the growth approach is equally straightforward. Paying salaries and clearing arrears keeps the system running, but it does not create new jobs. It does not attract investment. It does not reduce the state's dependency on federal allocation. If Osun's IGR keeps missing targets and youth unemployment stays high, then the welfare model is managing decline rather than building a future. And this is where the debate gets personal. Youth unemployment in Nigeria runs at roughly 60%. Young graduates in Osun are asking a specific question. Which of these two approaches actually leads to a job for me? The welfare model keeps the public sector stable, but does not create enough new positions. The growth model promises industrial parks and tech hubs, but those take years to build and the jobs are not guaranteed. Here is what neither side likes to admit. The welfare approach risks creating dependency. a state that relies on federal handouts and never builds its own economic engine. The growth approach risks disrupting the lives of the people who depend on the current system: civil servants, pensioners, small traders who fear higher taxes and tighter audits. Both paths carry real risks. The question is which risk Osun voters are more willing to take. The honest truth is that no government in Nigeria or anywhere else has ever perfectly solved this tension. Every state, every country balances welfare and growth differently depending on its circumstances. The right answer for Osun depends on what Osun's people need most urgently and what they are willing to trade off. That is not a question anyone can answer for you. So when you hear the campaign promises over the next 2 months, salaries, pensions, infrastructure on one side, investment, industry, revenue on the other, ask yourself this: which of these things does my community need more right now? And which one sets up the next generation? That is the real debate behind Osun 2026. Civic Naija breaks down Nigerian politics without taking sides. Subscribe for more explainers on the Osun election, governance, and public money. We follow the facts. You decide.